Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. It's another Valentine's Day celebration video, and today we're asking the question, who is my new love? So actually that can be seen from two perspectives. One is that you've just met somebody and who is my new love, you know, to try and find out a little bit about them. But it could also be a look at who a new person that you haven't met yet, this new love that might be coming into your life, who are they? So you might know them, you might not. So bearing that in mind, it's not a full character profile, it's just going to be a little touch at them and more importantly their connection to you and your connection to them. So I want you to make your choice. We have options 1, 2 and 3. I'm going to put the timestamps to these 3 readings, pin it as top comment and also put it in the description box along with all of my various contact details like emails to book me for a private reading and Instagrams and PayPal links and all the rest of it. So just look there if you want to contact me for a private reading. Now I want you to close your eyes, reflect on the question and make a choice. Give yourself some time and then trust your first instinct. Don't overthink it and don't doubt yourself. Just make your choice. If you want a little bit more time to do that, then please press pause because I'm now going to be moving on to the first reading. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, here is your reading. Who is your new love? I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, as I always do, I'm using the Tarot of Sexual Magic here, so there will be some scenes of a sexual nature. So avert your eyes if you should not be looking. So, who is your new love? And again, this could be from the perspective that you know them or you're hoping to meet someone. So we've got the Moon, we've got the Hermit, 10 of Chalices. We have new love and keep an open mind. So I think if we're looking at them as literally a person and then we'll go on to your connection together as a couple, they're definitely a dreamer, someone in touch with their subconscious. They're probably quite imaginative, possibly that's expressed through creativity, whether that's like a verbal creativity like they sing, or maybe they're artistic, or they could just, you know, have a very vivid imagination. But there's just like a dreamy quality to them. Very much probably have deep private thoughts. Now that's nothing to be frightened of where you think they're keeping secrets from you. It's just private. You know, it doesn't necessarily, you know, you can see some things but not everything. And they probably do want to nurture in a way, because in this card specifically, I mean, obviously they're drinking, nuzzling at their boobs. It's probably an essence of offering there. So there might be, doesn't necessarily mean sexually giving, by the way, even though this is the Tarot of Sexual Magic. They could just be a nurturer, because they also are Hermit. That says to me, and the combination of cards altogether would say to me that they're not somebody that sleeps around, because this is about I can't remember the exact phrase I used, but he's sort of keeping it to himself and not repressing it, but just not indulging in sex like this couple are, to make it more worthwhile when he does get it. I can't remember the exact phrase, that's annoying, but anyway, they put it much better than I do in the little booklet. But basically they don't sleep around. They want the sex that they have and the relationships that they have to have true meaning and value, and they're willing to go without in order to get that ideal relationship. So they're not going to have one night stands, and they're not going to fall into your arms very easily. They're sort of someone that you're going to have to maybe talk out of their cave. And that really is amplified by the fact that you get the sense that it's all in their head. You know, they're sort of a daydreamer and also a night dreamer, but, you know, just somebody that's very much focused on themselves. And that's not to say that they're selfish, it just means they're not gonna have a whole string of relationships behind them. They probably have 1 or 2 or depending on your age, that might just chosen not to, because the hermit is like the high priestess. Whenever I see them, is there someone that has forsaken that and gone off alone. So you might find that they're like, oh, I'm not much of a dater really, I'm much more of a relationship person, or even, oh no, I don't bother with that, because it's the hermit, which is a challenge for you if you really like them, because there's this essence of new love. So they might be different. Or if this is somebody, because it happens more and more and more that you meet online, you might be thinking they're one thing and in fact they're another. Not to say they're deceiving you, because there might be an element here of your imagination running wild, not theirs, your imagination running wild. Because we've got here, your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So you might be the one that's building up, sand castles in your mind about what's going on. But I think it's definitely a person, they're a family person. And it's a 10 of chalices, 10 of cups. It's about contentment and security and happiness and being a happy family. So I suspect that they're the sort of person that either you could have a happy family with, or they're part of a happy family, and that's important to them. Their family, if they are somebody that says, oh, I've just decided to always be single, they get their emotional security and satisfaction from being part of a family. So they might be close to their siblings and their parents, or close friends that feel like family to them. It's happily ever after. So I'm going to say that they're actually quite happy in their life. Possibly because of this sense of they don't let many people in. For some of you, this represents they don't let many people in, but when you're in, that's it, you're part of the family. So, new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So I do feel for a lot of you, this is representative of a person that you actually have just come across, and they've really stirred your romantic feelings. Others of you, when you do meet this person, you are going to feel attracted to them. And that's always a good thing, isn't it, and to be explored. So for some of you, this, it just answers the question, who is my new love? Yeah, there is one. But they're really asking you to keep an open mind. So I suspect that they're different. As I said, if this is somebody that you sort of know a bit about but not a lot, as you get to know them more, whatever picture you built up in your mind will be different from what actually is there. That doesn't mean that they're lying to you, because this card, these always remind me of Pride and Prejudice, because of they're set in the Regency era. But it's the same. Mr. Darcy had a certain, he met Elizabeth Bennet and thought, right, no money, millions of sisters, they're all silly girls, you're too poor, and he's got this own sense of superiority, and she doesn't match how important he sees himself. But then he gets to know her and he falls in love with her, because she's just uniquely herself, and she's really great, isn't she, Elizabeth Bennet? So this person could, you have one idea in your mind about this person, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, they're not what I thought. They're not my usual type. They're not who I would see myself with, or I've never been attracted to a person like this before. For some of you, that's the reason why maybe this new person will work. For others of you, it's just a new experience in your life, and then you will move on from it. But it doesn't matter. You've got to keep an open mind. In a sense, they're here to allow you to grow in some way, or you've been on a journey of growth in order to be ready for them. But they're different to what you're expecting. Maybe this element that you think that actually you're quite surprised to think, well, what, they don't date? Actually that makes sense now you've said it, but they don't date? Oh, they seem so well-rounded and happy, but you're telling me that they just decided to stay single for their entire life. That's not what I expected. And this is why you've got to keep an open mind, because there's still something there, there's still a connection there, and I'm going to say there is an important connection there because of the 10 of chalices. however that manifests for the two of you as a couple or as individuals, it doesn't matter. It actually is important, and there's a new love to be found here in this connection. It's just possibly not the one you were thinking of. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad connection. It might turn out to exceed your wildest dreams, but there's something different, and I think it's to do with the fact that maybe, for some of you, maybe they just don't see you as a romantic partner. They might not see you at all. They might just be like, hi, you know, yeah, I remember seeing you at a party, whatever, all the rest of it. But they might not see you at all, because this hermit is focused on his candle, on his light. It's doubted. It's been blown out. He thinks, oh, how can I light it again? He's not noticing this couple having it away right outside his cave. These two girls are not paying attention to the men in their laps. They're paying attention to the moon, their drink, their mirror. They're just, you know, it's just of no interest to them. What's going on inside their head and their lives is more important. So for some of you, this person doesn't know you exist. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't introduce yourself. And there's another element here. He's walking off while she's just off, you know. But yeah. And I mean, of course, it mentions your soulmate may differ. So that for some of you, you might feel that this new person could be a deep connection, and it might well be. Or that the next person you meet might be a really deep connection. It's just going to be different to what you expect, and for some of you, a bit of a challenge. So, those of you that chose option 1, that is your reading. Please let me know in the comments section if it resonates, if it helps you in any way. If you want a private reading on your love life, just email me on oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com. But otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck for the future, and whatever new love is coming into your life, please take very good care of yourself and your new love. And thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 2, here is your reading. I did forget to mention at the beginning of the video that in fact we have this tarot of sexual magic here in this spread. So there will be scenes of a sexual nature. So if you're not meant to look at them, please switch off. So we have who is your new love? Who is this new love? And we have the Fool. We have the Emperor. And we have the Lovers. And in fact, as well, to add to that magnificent major arcana selection, when I was shuffling out, 3 flung themselves out. I only wanted 2, but 3 came out. So clearly this is important. Wedding. Very soon. Unrequited love. Okay. In some way, this isn't too dissimilar to 1. So if you felt attracted to the 2, this might be a continuation for some of you. If you didn't feel attracted to 1, then don't bother going back and reading it. There's no point. This is your reading. Okay, so this new love, whether you've just met them or you're hoping to meet someone soon, could be the big relationship of your life. So okay, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do, if you're single, you haven't met anyone, but you're hoping that there will be new love coming to your life soon, and who is this person? So the Fool, they're a wanderer. They haven't got any baggage. Whatever baggage they've had in the past, they've left behind them, and they're on their mission. They're on their path for a new life. Maybe that's how you'll meet, because they're off on a journey. But yeah, they've just started off. They're uninhibited. They're not afraid of failure. They're not worrying about the future. They're just going to go off and start afresh. They could also be quite light-hearted, quite funny, maybe a bit innocent, because it's the Fool card. Or have an innocence about them, but overall, yeah, they're not going to be carrying any baggage. They're just like ready to move on to something fresh. So if they've had a relationship in the past, it's over, and they're ready to start again and find new love themselves. That's good. The Emperor. So they're definitely their own boss. They're probably quite, in a sense, strong and powerful. That doesn't necessarily mean physically, but of course it can. I think they're just their own boss. They're in charge of their own destiny. This is, you know, this is why they're ready to just go off and be themselves and live their life. And they are, yeah, they're not overpowering, because the emperor is always somebody that's happy to sit in his throne and dictate from his seat. So they're not somebody that feels the need to jump in and be aggressive. There might be a sense of that they feel they should be obeyed, but of course that doesn't mean that you have to obey them. You know, tough, you know, they're not the boss of you in a relationship. It just might be that they like to think they are. And so what you need to do is remind them that you are your own boss just as much as that they are their own boss. But no, I think that they're definitely in charge of their own life. They're going places with authority and knowledge and confidence and assurance. I think you're going to look at this person, they say they're confident, they know who they are, they're in charge of their own power. And we've also got the Lovers card, which is always nice to see in a love reading, isn't it? And I think they are looking for love. I think they are looking for their other partner. And I think as well, because remember, the Lovers is about choice. And he's got to choose between the two girls. And it's really the symbolic of the choice of being footloose, fancy free, to have sexual availability and to sleep with whoever they want, versus being with somebody and it's only them. Like, she's closed herself off to other lovers and he's only waiting for him, whereas this girl's still out there on the prowl. And so this person is now at the point where they're thinking, okay, it's time for me to stop being in essence the fool, footloose, fancy free. It's time now to settle down and find the person to spend my life with. And this is amplified by the fact that there's the wedding card. They want, this person, this new love, wants to get married. And I mean, if you're looking for a committed relationship, the next person you're going to meet also is ready at that stage to be getting married. I think if you haven't met them, they are very imminently coming into your life. Whether you've arranged a blind date or meeting somebody through a dating app or whatever, they could be coming to you really, really soon, which makes sense because tarot always reflects the energies of now. But we've got clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. I think that they are at the deciding point. This is a reinforcement of the Lovers card. They're deciding who they want, what they want. I think that they've gone beyond being you know, the younger part of themselves that goes out to bars and has fun and just has short-term relationships based on, you know, they're not looking for something stable, they just want to have fun. They're now changing that because they want stability. They want to settle down. Or if whatever's happened in the past, they're ready to let that go and resettle down in another long-term relationship. At the moment, there's unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So some of you, it's just really early stages. Don't panic and think, oh no, it's not going to work. All the other cards are really great, so ignore that. What it's saying is that I think on one side, there's a lot more affection than on the other. So one of you might, you know, you or the other person might go, you're the one for me. You know, if they go, oh my God, you're the one for me, you're the one I've been waiting for, this is it. And you're like, slow down, cowboy, this is a bit rushed for me. I like to be, have a few dates before I kiss a man and all this kind of stuff. Do it. You know, don't let them rush you. On the other hand, if you meet them and you're like, this is it, you're my man, you're my woman, this is it, you are the one. Your feelings might be a lot stronger than their feelings. You know, that you might be a bit further advanced than they are. It doesn't mean that they won't come to love you as much or have the same sort of feelings. It just means that, you know, you need to not rush things, because if you rush it, you might destroy it. And you don't want to do that, because I think this new love has the superb potential. So now doing that as like, you haven't got anyone. I think if you do have someone in mind and you're asking the question, this new love that I've met, I've come in contact with, you know, who is this new love? It's very similar, basically, that they're ready to start fresh, probably with you. We've got the wedding card. They're ready to start afresh. They are in their own authority. They are in charge of their life. So I think that they're a bit older. They've possibly had past relationships. They might not necessarily, because this is the Fool, so it's someone at the beginning. So even if they're not necessarily had many relationships in their life, you know, and they've just been on their own, wandering around and not being committed to anything or anyone, they've grown because of it and grown into their own power, in their own, they have self-belief, they know what they can do, what they can't do, what they want, what they don't want. But it's the Lovers card. They could be your match, and we've got the Lovers and Wedding. I mean, this could just be the one for you. This could be your partner for life for some of you. It really can. You know, and there's a choice to be together. So for some of you, you know, you think, I've just met this person, I'm not sure, you know, there's a choice for both of you to be with each other. And if you do, it could end in marriage for some of you. But you've both got to want it. You know, it could be, you know, it's like the perfect match. They could be your perfect match for some of you. Could be your perfect match for some of you. You know, and it could be your partner. Again, we've got this sense of very soon, very soon. I think this is, in a way, saying act quickly, because if this person is a wanderer that constantly moves and goes off and starts new things, and, you know, a rolling stone gathers no moss, they might be planning their next journey away from you. This is why it's saying act soon and contact them, because if there's a sense that they're thinking, well, okay, been here long enough, ready to move on, you've got to act. And the sense of unrequited love, again, ignore the not enough chemistry. You're not at that phase yet. It's, if you have feelings for them, it's time now to at least say something and give a hint to it before they move on. Because the Fool doesn't have to stay the Fool forever. They can settle down. They can get married and get settled down. You know, they'll probably still travel, but, you know, have a home and travel a lot in the year, got lots of holidays. That might be satisfying to them, because they're a grown-up, fatherly, powerful. Even if they're feminine, you know, it's a lady you're thinking about. They're into their own authority. They're grown up. They can do stuff for themselves. In a sense, the Emperor just doesn't need anyone else, really. But it's not a sense of isolation like the Hermit, where they're trying to learn something about themselves. The Emperor's learnt it, and that's why they're confident. They know they can do anything they need to. But they can choose to be with you or be with someone. There can be the choice to be with someone, and they will commit in the way that needs to be committed. So don't think that they're just going to be flighty and suddenly disappear out of your life. There is a potential to commit. But you know, if your love is unrequited and they're oblivious, it's not going to happen in any way. Nothing's going to happen. This sort of the Lovers and the Wedding would disappear, because they'll be gone and you'll have missed your opportunity. And it's telling you that with very soon. You know, very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. You've got to, this is it. It's not about saying, oh, you know, sending the message out to the universe. You've got to tell this person. So actually, I really like you. I don't want you to go. I understand, you know, free will and everything, but I want you to keep in contact with me. I want you to stay. I want you to whatever. I want you to be my friend. I want you to be my lover. Whatever. You've got to say, otherwise it's just not going to happen. The wedding won't happen because they'll be off. They'll be gone. And this doesn't necessarily mean symbolic of literally they're physically going. It just could mean emotionally and mentally they move on and they unburden themselves of the connection that you two share, because they're not afraid to be alone. This actually overall is a good reading, but it's saying on condition you act. Because at the moment nothing's going to happen with this new love, because I think the other person's a bit oblivious. But you think that they are the one. I think you think this is your marriage partner. And I don't think that they realise how deep your feelings are. Maybe they think you're just a friend. So you've got to let them know, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Tell them. Because otherwise it's all one-sided and you're going to be left with this unrequited love, and they're going to start dating someone else, literally moving on out of the workplace. Maybe you work together or live in the same block of flats or something, or you're in the same sort of like a community. They'll just be there but perhaps be absent, and that's like the idea of the Emperor, that they're unapproachable, that they're somebody that sits on their throne at a distance and sort of you can't come up to them. So some of you might feel intimidated actually, that you think this is the one, but I can't come forward and say to them, I really like you, because it's like going up to the king and saying, you know, I love you, or whatever, you know what I mean? It's just like going up to the king. But the message is, who is this new love? I think there's somebody quite important. And if you haven't met them yet and you do feel that when you meet someone and you feel all this resonates, I'm still going to give you the message of don't be afraid to show your emotions and show what your interest is. Whether it's just quite simply, I want to spend some time alone with you so I can get to know you. And for others of you, you know them and you like what you see. So those of you that chose option 2, that's your reading. Who is this new love? Somebody significant. So if that resonates with you, if it makes any sort of sense, please let me know in the comment section. If you want a private reading on your love life or something else, email me on oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com. But otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself, and thank you very much for listening to me. Bye. Okay, those of you that chose option 3, this is your reading. As I always seem to, I forgot to tell you that I'm using the Tarot of Sexual Magic in this reading. So if there are scenes of a sexual nature, and if you're not old enough to look, then please turn away. But otherwise, we shall move on to the question, who is this new love? Knave of Pentacles, 9 of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and we also have Passion and True Love. Oh, that's nice. I do like the more positive cards in a love reading. So this could be someone that you've just met and you're thinking, this new love in my life, who are they? But also it could be, who is the next person that you're going to meet that will be sort of a love in your life. So as a person, they're just it's a Knave of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. It's about learning, being a student, but also this is somebody that I mean, when you're looking at him, it's almost like he's making sure she's happy and she's in ecstasy, but he's still in control. So some of you might feel that resonates more, that this is somebody who doesn't let themselves be, you know, seen losing control. You know, this sense of that it's your turn to be happy and I shall keep an eye, you know, so like they're willing to sort of support you and what you desire and you need and want it in return, which is always a good sign, because that's compromise, that's give and take, and that's essential in human relationships. We've got the 9 of Wands, so we've got here a couple where, you know, she's trying to creep around him, she's trying to make up to him, they've had a fight, and he's like, I don't listen anymore. She's like, no, don't argue. So this is somebody that's a bit of a peacekeeper, and this is again reflective, I think, of their balanced personality. There's somebody that doesn't want to fight. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles, so they're a stable, earthy person. You know, they're a provider, and that's, you know, not only financial, although for some of you, you know, even if it's whatever the gender, it's somebody that can support financially. There might be a bit of a case of they're unapproachable at first, but don't let that hold you back. You know, the Queen of Pentacles knows its own value, so it's not going to let anybody into their life that, you know, not in a sense of, oh, you must bring added value to my life, but it's just they don't expend any effort or time on time wasters. You know, they look and they say, well, I can see what your game is and I'm not interested. So they just, you know, want stability, and they're willing to compromise for it and provide stability as well as receive it. And there's this sense here of adoration, so that there is a sort of distant adoration where it's a slow moving relationship. But there are couples in here, and there are couples giving each other pleasure and taking pleasure and communication. So I think this is somebody that's definitely understands give and take, doing things, making each other happy and getting it in return, which is important, and the importance of communication and of learning new things about each other. There is also going to be passion. I mean, this is important. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So I think that there will be passion between the two of you, where you are attracted to each other and you have sort of a chemistry that you turn each other on even. And we've got true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. I think this is going to be a great connection. Whatever happens with it, I think it's going to be a great connection, and I don't think you're going to look back and say, oh, you know, we're wasting my time with that partner. I think this is good. And I think it's the fact is that I think they're just grown up, they're mature. They're not stupid. I don't think they're unbalanced. I think they want to offer things to you and to receive things. They want to have calm and peace between the two of you. They don't want to go to bed on a fight. I mean, that always tells me I'm not going to go to bed on a fight. You know, we've got to make this up. There's and just the Queen of Pentacles is always nice, because it really is a grown person. You know, that they are quite generous, and it's with like their materials and that, you know, and the things that are in their life. And it doesn't mean necessarily, again, about money. It doesn't mean they're just going to spend tons of money on you, although some of you might find that's true. They'll just do things for you. They'll allow you close up. It might take a while. There might be coolness at first, but, you know, if there's persistence, he started off at her ankle, he'll get higher up until the end, like that couple where she's almost on his lap. So at first it might seem difficult, but there is passion there and there will be love. It's just going to be a slow moving relationship, whether you've just met this person or you're yet to meet someone and this is like your next love that you'll meet. It will be a slow moving one, but it will be passionate and truthful and honest. This just feels like a grown-up real relationship where it's mutually supportive and nurturing and nourishing and loving. You know, there's just all the couples apart from this one, which almost I feel like it should be like that. It wasn't, I'll move it back. But where it's, oh, she's a bit cool, then she's sort of more on his lap, and then he's like, he's got her. He's just giving his wine, his goblet, he's just making sure she's satisfied. You know, in passion, in true love. So I think actually this new love has a lot of potential in it, and that's lovely to see. Because there's willingness to work on it, mutual willingness to work on it. So this is someone that will work with you, for you, but also wants it in return. So remember that. And that's why the love will be true and why there will be passion. But yeah, all these couples are in each other's arms. And he's on his way to getting there. So I like that one. I do like that one. Please let me know in the comment section if that resonates with you, if it makes any sort of sense. If you want a private reading with me, then email me on oaktreetarotreader@gmail.com and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself, and thank you very much for listening to me. Bye.